In the last 5 years, I had the privilege of working with a lot of children from different races, different ethnicities, different social class backgrounds. And one thing, when I began working with these children, is I saw one thing that they all had in common. No matter where they grew up, no matter who they grew up with, they all deal with the cycle of bullying. So Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters and guests, I would like to share with you how we break the cycle. Now, bullying has much evolved from even my childhood, and I know some of your own. With technology advances, children face being tormented, humiliated daily all across the world. This epidemic of these children do not just start in schools, and are not only in schools or playgrounds, but they also venture out. Most children do not know how to combat this bullying cycle. So today I want to give you information on how we can and how we choose to break the cycle. %49% of kids reported being bullied at least once a month. So raise your hand if you ever in your lifetime has ever been bullied. Yeah. So I see we all share that, at least all of us. Only 30% of kids say that they reported have bullied. Now, statistics can be very misleading because these are only what's reported. So, in order to break the cycle, we must not only know the statistics, but we should also know that bullying is not just a childhood epidemic. It is a humanity crisis. I recently listened to an album by Kendrick Lamar. If you don't know him, he's a Compton, California-based rapper. And he had a new album which had a song that's one of my favorites. It's called Fear. In this album, or in this song particularly, he talked about being 7 years old, being 17 years old, and being 27 years old, and the different fears that were incorporated in those time frames. The most pivotal one was being 7. And he talked about his fear of his mother. He began every line with, "I'll beat your," to describe the punishment that she would often give for behavior. Whether that behavior was not finishing his food, getting his Jordans dirty, or if he told the social workers that her new boyfriend was living in the house. So these punishments that he would often receive were not coming from children at the playground, but they were coming in his own home. Now, have you ever heard, "Y'all better shut up in there before I come in there," or "Y'all better stop jumping on my couch or I know something"? You see, to intimidate and to punish with force is bullying. And we have to understand that this is a learned behavior. Now, when we talk about breaking the cycle, we have to understand the importance of the 3 B's. The 3 parts that all play a pivotal part in breaking this cycle. It's the bully, the bullied, and the bystander. Who plays the most pivotal part when we talk about the cycle? Often 57% of the time that a bystander steps in, the bullying of the bully doesn't continue. Oftentimes in the society that we live in, we see videos constantly popping up on our social media feeds of kids being bullied, fought, because it's easier to pull out a phone and record what's going on instead of stepping in and saying, "Stop." Oftentimes, the bully, only 36% of the time does the child advocate for themselves to stop this cycle. So that leaves the other times that these kids say nothing because they live in fear or they think that nobody else cares. We also have to remember that the bully And oftentimes they're looked at as the villain, as this person who just seems to be angry. But this is something that we learn. So oftentimes the bully is a bully victim, someone who initiates bullying but also is being bullied. Bully victims are more reluctant to perpetrate more violent crimes than the bystander or the person that's just being bullied. So, to conclude, I want you all to understand how important this is, and this is not just a schoolhood crisis, because bullying has expanded outside of just the school. Bullying can take place in the work environment, in your relationships, and I also saw a story most recently on the news about it taking place in retirement homes. So I want to understand that at one point I played all three roles in the cycle. It pains me to know that I had the influence and the power to step in to lift someone up and decided to tear them down. So I would like to take this pledge, and if you want to join in, you may take it with me. As I raise my right hand, I, Devon Lewis-Buchanan, I stand for what is right. I forgive those who act out of malice and spite. I protect those who may cry for help as I stand up for myself. I break the cycle. Toastmasters.